Right, solidifying behaviours. We've obviously spoken about proofing in the past, but for those of you who either haven't seen that video or can't remember it or whatever, proofing a behaviour is basically taking a behaviour, a sit for example, and then proofing it in other areas. So there's the 3 Ds of dog training: distraction, distance, duration. So you take your sit and you proof it in a more distracting environment, or you take your sit and have the dog sit for longer, or you take the sit and move 20 steps away from the dog. So some of these go hand in hand. Obviously, to get distance you need some duration. To get duration you don't need distance. To get duration you don't need distraction. To get distraction you don't need either of the other two either. So there's this equation within dog training about when you add one, you take the others away to start with, and then you add two. My issue, and the thing I want to address today, the thing I want to talk about, the thing that I think that's important, is solidifying the proofing. So we have proofing. My dog downs. Cool. Now go and proof the behaviour. My dog downs in a park. Cool. Proof it further. My dog downs in a park for 10 minutes. Cool. Proofed. Most people would call that proofed. And then there's an aspect beyond that my dogs have, that other sport dogs have, that other high-level dogs have. Solidifying. So for me, many would argue these are two in the same. The reason I've used different terms is just to help people understand that there is a next step beyond that. There is something further to do. So for example, let's take Flack and heel work. Flack can come to heel and look at me. Cool. Initial behaviour taught. Flack, don't do it. Flack can come to heel and look at me for an amount of time. First day of dog training done. Flack can come to heel and look at me. Well, you can't do this one over distance because it involves the dog sitting next to you and looking at you. It's a heel position. And then distraction. Flack can do that, on a field where there's people walk around and stuff. But that behaviour for me is not yet solidified. And it bit me. It bit me not having it solidified, because most of my other behaviours are. So at the moment, I'm putting Flack. Many of you will have seen footage of me doing this, but I want to explain why I'm doing it and how it can affect your training. I'm putting Flack in heel position, and I'm having people walking around being ultra distracting, obnoxiously distracting, clapping, shouting his name, making clicking noises, whistling at him, banging stuff. And we'll go further than this. I'll end up getting a guy with an agitation whip to whip that around him. I want that dog at a point where you could walk up to him and pull his ear as a stranger and he will not blink. He'll just stay looking, stay focused. Because when you've got that much solidification, if that's a word, is now, you don't have to be worrying about the daily bits and bobs of life. So Khaleesi's recall is that solidified. I can call it off anything, anytime, any place, whatever mood she's in. If I shout here, that dog's coming back without fail, without question. So I think more of you need to be properly solidifying your behaviours, in the sense that it's great that you proof them, and that's obviously a super important, but for me this is like a 3-step process. Well, if you want to break them all down: teaching the behaviour, proofing of distraction, proofing of distance, proofing of duration, and then solidifying behaviour. So 5 steps. You could almost, the other thing you could call solidifying the behaviour is proofing the 3 Ds of dog training. So making sure each one of them proofing things has been proofed, if that makes sense. So you can take anything, walking your dog on a lead and you have to ignore the world. Super simple pet dog style behaviour. Let me just flick this behind here. There's a microphone for my parrot that I don't need because it doesn't do anything. My van's got the phone connected to it already. The owner before me put it in. I have no idea why. So you've now got this dog that will walk down a normal street. Behaviour's been taught. Now he can walk down a busy street. Distraction. Now he can walk for a long time. Distance and duration together almost. So you've only really got 2 there. distance / duration, depending on what metric you're measuring, time or miles covered. Time is the one I would use. So you've now got to that point. You can walk your dog, through town and all that jazz. But how far are you going? And how far do you want to go? And this goes back to the other video I filmed today on knowing your goals. How good do you want that dog? Can you walk your dog through a brass band? Can you walk your dog through a firework display? Can you walk your dog through a shooting range? Can you walk your dog through a herd of cows? All these things that you're never ever going to need. But then by teaching them to that level, they make the things that you are going to need in daily life seem really easy to you and the dog. So if you need your dog to be performing at a 10, you need to be training at a 30. So prime example, a lot of the top guys, when you do an IGP track at the World Championships, there are 3 articles. A lot of the top guys are training with 20 plus articles. That's solidifying behaviour. That dog will alert on article after article after article. You get to the World Championships and there's 3 and the dog's fine. Whereas a lot of less good people train with 2 articles and hope the dog will do the 3rd. Our dog's having a harder day now on trial day. And you can change trial day for a day where life throws you a massive curveball, and you're walking down the street and there's, insert weird thing here, a military band display on that you didn't know was happening, or all the sheep have escaped from the field next to you and there's nowhere to go because they're in front of you and behind you. Can you walk your dog through that? Can you walk your dog through that without headache? Solidifying behaviour is taking a dog that's already pretty good and making it excellent. So what level you want to do that to is not on me. That's entirely on you. You can decide what level you want to be at. It makes no difference to me. I have my own level of solidifying that I would like to achieve, and you will have yours, and that's fine, and that's how it should be. We don't all need the same dogs, we don't all need the same goals, so don't look at each other in the academy and go, oh God, but Fred's doing better than I am. Well, Fred might train 50 times more than you, because Fred might be a rich businessman, doesn't have to go to work anymore. Can't compare him with you if you've got 3 jobs and 3 kids and you're a single parent. They're just different lives, different lifestyles. So yeah, that's solidifying behaviours, and that's how it differs from proofing. As always, any questions, just hit me up. Please, actually do, but please use the groups that are there. I do not check my personal WhatsApp, ever. If you send me a message on my personal WhatsApp, you won't get a reply. It's my normal phone, it's my chatting with friends phone and things like that. I only check the group. If the name's not saved, i.e. one of my close friends, it will not be checked. Same as my personal messenger, that never ever gets checked. Chances of you getting a response from me on there are slim, unless I happen to be on it when you message me, and then I'll reply, obviously. It's not like being an arsehole, I just don't check it. So decide how far you want to solidify, decide how far you want to go, roll with it.